Troy, you want to go ahead and push the record button and we'll get started. All right, well, welcome everyone to our Saturday morning A-Team call. Very excited about this call. Always great to be on the call, and especially today we have a lot of great speakers and a great topic, one of my favorite topics actually. But before we get started with that, I'm going to go ahead and say the A-Team motto, that is, you have the ability to achieve greatness by always doing something positive and by being accountable for all of your actions. Now, this morning I had, last night I put notice on Facebook, and this morning I started texting people and giving them the information about the call today, and I didn't notice that it said March 3rd on there. It's not March 3rd today. So I get a message from Terry. It's the 12th today, and I'm like, oh no, it's the 12th today. So it was, what's funny, as I went to Facebook and started looking at Facebook, and I had all these leaders were posting the same thing that I had posted. I'm thinking, oh geez, follow the leader. So give me a little grace today. And talking about that, I wanted to mention something because it's been on me for the last, actually just today and actually last night. And it was a movie that I saw called Just Let Go. Just Let Go. And I'm not going to tell you the whole movie, but I'll tell you the storyline is, and this is a true story, of a man in Utah that him and his wife and his two kids were hit in a car accident and by a drunk driver, by a teenager. Well, he was 17 at the time, and they were all killed except for him and his son. And it goes through the story and talks about what he did over the next few months and going through the trial and everything. And he was able to forgive this kid. And this kid now goes around, from what I understand, goes around and talks to other kids out there about drunk driving and the dangers of drunk driving. And the movie's called Just Let Go. The book, I think, is Let It Go. But of course, the Disney song Let It Go, I imagine they did that for a reason, put Just Let Go. But it's such a powerful story of forgiveness. And I thought to myself this morning, a lot of times we don't forgive others. We hold grudges. And a lot of times we don't forgive ourselves. And we don't forgive ourselves of things, and we don't just let it go, and it really hurts our progression in life. And this is true in our business too. It hurts our progression in our business, in our life, in our health. Sometimes we don't let things go, like, well, in the little things, just little tiny things, like this is a huge thing that happened to this guy. And so I'm thinking, why do we hold on to these little things in our lives? Even with our health, like sometimes we'll mess up, we have a bad day, and maybe even have a bad week in our health. And instead of getting back on track, we hold that. We don't let it go. Why do we do that? Why don't we just let things go and move on? Because we'd be much happier as people, and we'd be able to help a lot more people out if we let these things go. So, looking at your life, your future, where you can be in the future, there's certain things probably in your life that you're going to need to let go. And changes are inevitable. You're going to have things that happen, and we talk a lot about transformation. Those of you that are at Go Global, we talk a lot about transformation. And believe me, this convention this year, you're going to see some transformation. You're going to see some changes. You're going to see some things that you're going to get, I think, you're going to get very excited about. But going back to you and just letting things go and forgiving others, giving grace, these are some of the things that I just felt really kind of prompted this morning to talk about. Just for a few minutes, because I think a lot of people deal with these struggles, these internal struggles in their own lives. And if we don't let things go and move our business, move our life forward, they can destroy us. It really can. I really do believe that. I know I've let a lot of things go in my life, and I still, to this day, I feel like a lot of times I fail miserably, still to this day. But you know what? You fail your way to success. As long as you're not continue doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same results, that's insanity. But you just do. And so that being said, I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest. Let it go and move your life forward. Today's a new day, and just move your life and your business forward, and understand the potential that you have to change lives. The potential you have to change lives physically, financially, and in the process of doing so, of serving others, you'll change your life as well. So with that, I'm going to introduce my first guest speakers. We've got Amber and Jared Smithsons. They're integrated presidential directors. Guys, are you there?
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great, Amber. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good today. It's kind of like you wake up and you go, how am I going to feel today? So today's good.
And the obstacle's the way, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's so true. Well, thanks so much for having us on. And do you want us to go ahead and introduce our new global directors?
Yes, let's do that. Let's hear their story.
Okay. And I love what you talked about with letting things go. It's so true. You know, Jared and I, we've had so many obstacles in our life that have come up over the years, and that resonated with me a lot. What you talked about with letting things go, it just eats you away inside if you just hold on to those things. And yeah, I actually had a gal ask me last night, and she was like, oh, have you just been so super stressed out by everything that's been going on? And I was like, not really. She's like, what? I go, what? I just don't let things stress me out as much as I used to. And she goes, well, how do you do that? So it was so interesting to me that she didn't even know that you could choose to not be stressed out by things that come up in your life. Like, that's what we have. We have this healthy mind piece that people don't even know they can choose sometimes. So I really appreciate your words.
Oh, that's great.
But I want to introduce Ryan and Liz, and they are so awesome. They're great friends of ours. We've been friends for years and years and years. And I think that Ryan and Liz, having 6 kids, they know about choosing to be stressed out or not. I think between running an awesome business and helping so many people, they have hearts of gold. And so we were just so excited for them to hit global and just really have that recognition that they deserve, that they've been working so hard. And so I'm going to pass it over to them.
Thank you, Amber.
Yeah, thanks, Amber.
Just a warning, yeah, we do have 6 little kids, and Saturday mornings are kind of noisy at our house, so if you hear banging outside the door, that's what it is. And Brian, thanks for your little message. I have the theme song from Frozen going through my mind now, and I might start singing any second, Let It Go. But we're just so excited to get to be on your call today and share just some of our experiences over the last 4 years. We've been coaching about 4.5 years. And we're just so grateful for Amber and Jared Smithson for sharing this with us. It came at the perfect time in our life. We were just, in the midst of having lots of little kids, overworked, overstressed, not feeling like we were progressing at all, kind of feeling stuck, just kind of settling for what life was giving us and not really able to dream for much more, just trying to get through the day by day, trying to keep the head above the water part in our life. And so it was just such a great fit for our family, for me being able to stay at home with our kids and being able to feel like I was helping people. And it was just so fun to actually talk to grown-ups during the day and be able to help people and see those changes. And so I loved the client support part of it. And as we got into more of the leadership part, that was different for us because I'm not a natural leader. I don't like to tell people what to do, and I love this business that you don't have to boss people around, you just have them join you. And I love that's what we're taught, just teach people how to lead. And it's been so fun just to be able to grow personally and to be able to help other people along the way, and to know that you can fit lots of things in your life, and it can fit, and you can have balance. Balance doesn't mean easy, like Jared said. It just means, you know, you have lots of great things going on in your life. And so we've really enjoyed what Take Shape for Life has to offer. And I'd say probably the number one thing that got us going on our business is about 3 days after we signed up as health coaches, Amber and Jared convinced us to go to some event in Las Vegas. And we had never left our kids one night before. And that was a big step for us to take that leap of faith and drive down there. And it was a super regional event that Dr. A had put on. And that just opened our eyes to what Take Shape for Life is. It was so awesome to see those leaders on the stage and to see that this was a great company and it was a great thing that we could offer to people. And we try not to miss any event. After that, we just really saw the importance of going to those events. And so I encourage anyone that is in Take Shape for Life, no matter what stage you are, get signed up for National Convention, because it will open your eyes to what is possible. It will it's so fun to see what great people are in this business, and it will just get you so excited. And there's not enough good that I could say about National Convention. Oh, one more thing. My awesome husband, he's so supportive, and you know, having lots of little kids, he helps, you know, with the business, but also picks up the slack where we need it. And I think that support of having, you know, just a great partner is so key. You know, we talk about support so much, and so he's awesome. I just want him to share a little bit also.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'll talk about the importance of events too, but you know, a lot of it also is about living your life in a way that people are watching you. Everybody's looking at the decisions that you're making, the choices that you're making, and ultimately that's why we became health coaches. Because with our associations and our friendship with Amber and Jared, we watched them. We saw how they lived their lives, that they're trustworthy, that, you know, they did the things that they said that they were going to do, and then at the same time they were being very successful. And so those things were attractive to me especially, and also to Liz, and that's a huge part of it. So recognize that people are watching you. They're watching the things that you do and the decisions that you make, and you know, if you're a good example, essentially, that's going to draw more people to you in the business, and hopefully to be able to help more people get healthy. Now to cut it, and it has changed our lives. I don't know how much of our story that you want, but definitely changed our lives. For me, it was huge. I've owned businesses my whole life, and when Take Shape came into our lives, I was working 12 to 14-hour days, 6 days a week, just trying to tread water, and didn't dare turn down a job, because you never know when the next money's coming in. And you know, our whole goal when we came into the business was if we could make an extra $300 to $400 a month, that would change our lives. And so that was our big view of the world was $300 a month. Which I think Liz did in the first month. And so we were excited about it. But events, so I remember the first time I met Brian, it was a couple of weeks after that regional. We had another little local event that was up in North Salt Lake. And, you know, we were there, and I remember Brian coming up, and I'm sure he doesn't remember it, but he comes up and he's like, okay, good. When are you going to get the ED? And I'm like, I don't know. I have never thought about it. We just wanted to make it $300 a month. And he's like, well, don't quit and get to ED next month. And I think it was the month before Go Global. And then and then that month, Jared and Amber encouraged us nicely and drug us to Tucson. But what we saw there was amazing, especially for me. Liz said at our first event, it was the reality that this is a real company. Our eyes were opened. And then when we got to Go Global, it was like, holy cow. You know, an experience where you could dive in with all the leaders of the company, with, you know, all these brilliant minds that have done it for years and years, and know the ins and outs of the business. And so that was awesome. And the National Convention just builds upon that. You get to see the power you get to see the excitement of everybody in this business and the love that they really have for people. So that's just part of our thing, and we can't wait to get there to National Convention in July, and San Diego next week will be awesome too. So those events are the ones I would recommend you don't miss either. The incentive trip events, those are awesome. So thanks, guys.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Ryan. And you're so right, Ryan, when you're talking about being an example. That is so critical to everything you do, and especially in life, but also in your business. And Liz, talking about having balance, I know how it is to have a lot of kids. So 6 kids is great, but it brings its challenges too. And it is about having a life in balance, and that's what we offer. And things can always get better. And definitely attending events like what you guys were saying is so critical to your business. That third party credibility, the validation, and this event is going to be just amazing. So Amber, Jared, do you want to say anything about that before bringing on your next guest? Oh, by the way, and congratulations again on going global.
Who we bring on now?
Yeah, no, I just loved everything that's been said so far. And I think that I think back to our first convention, it was just a few months after we started, and we pretty much got dragged kicking and screaming. I'm not going to lie. We were like, we started this business because we really, we
were poor.
We were very poor. Like, we didn't have any money. We needed to make our house payment. So when my mom said, hey, there's the national convention, you guys got to come. And I was like, well, how much is that? Right? A lot of people say, how much is it? How much does it cost? Right? And we just made it happen. We drove there. It was like a 12-hour drive, so it wasn't too far. But we had to get another health coach to come in our car too, so we could afford the gas, because we had to split gas. And then we shared a room with my parents. And, it was like anything we could do to get there, but not pay hardly any money. That's what we had to do, because we literally did not have enough money in our bank account to go. I think we borrowed a few $100s too.
Yeah, the funny thing about that was we were kicking and screaming because of the money, but we also understood the value of investing in our business. I had owned a business previously where I had to renew licenses every single year. I had to go to continued education classes every single year in order to renew those licenses. So I was very familiar, but we were like, with Amber's mom, who's our mentor coach, we were like, we don't know how we're going to figure this out. Like, we're trying and stuff. And so we had to do all these things. I love my in-laws, but sharing a room with your in-laws at a convention, not my idea of the ideal situation, right? So it's, I still love them even after sharing a room with them. So no, it is so important to, if you want this to be a business, to treat it every single day like a business. And I'll say something and give thanks and praise to her mom for this, because she did loan us money. She was investing in her business, and to this day, I think that her investment paid off. The best thing that you'll ever do to invest in this world is to invest in your Take Shape for Life business. I've never seen an investment like Take Shape for Life, where you can put in $200 to start your business and have it exponentially grow. You show me another investment that creates the growth that this one does, and
you're not getting that percentage in mutual funds, I'll tell you that.
You're not.
And on that note, we want to introduce some other people who have really amazing stories surrounding convention and events. First off, I'd love to bring on Kirtley Freckleton to share your quick story. Are you there, Kirtley?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. So I was very quizzical about events, and I didn't even go to local ones. I was just like, whatever, I can do it on my own. Sound familiar? And so I remember one summer I was working so hard to hit ED. And looking back, I was doing nothing. I was afraid of everything. And Amber called me. She says, congratulations, you won a $1,000 scholarship to go to convention. I was like, okay, what's that? Didn't even know, like realize what they were because I was not plugged in. And I was like, well, how much does it cost? And it was like, it was however more. And I was like, well, that's not worth it. Like $100 isn't very much. And so I didn't go. And I'm just kicking myself now. So I, found more passion for it, started taking things more seriously and was way more plugged in. And so Global Convention was coming in and Jared and Amber were talking to me about it, and I really wanted to go. And here's my special aspect that's, might relate to some of you, but my husband didn't want me to go because he didn't think it was worth it, and I know that's common and I'm not blaming him or, at all. It's just, and so Jared and Amber, I remember Amber asked me, she says, is it just about the money? Would you come? And I was like, yeah, it literally is, because we don't agree on that. And so Jared and Amber were kind enough to invest in me and paid for me to go. And it was completely life-changing. It turned everything around in my business. Before, I was just spinning my wheels. I had the desire, but I think I was lacking passion and belief. And the vision, I didn't quite see like it was possible for me. And so I got there and I saw what I remember most is standing up and looking around me. And there were all these older women, like gray hair. And I was like, these guys are more successful than me. And if they can do it, I can do it too. And so I just remember I saw the vision. I totally made my everyone says that you make your biggest decisions at conventions. And it's completely true. I hear that from every type of group. And that's what I've done. I've seen it every single time I've gone to convention. That's my next goal. And just to get you an idea of the numbers for me, 3 months before I went to Global, I was at about 7K, average of 7K group volume. So, and that was, that was the highest and just been lower since then and very stale. And 3 months after, I doubled it. And then 4 months after, I went FIBIC. And that was me starting about 2 coaches and then going to FIBIC in 4 months after. So talk about how inspiring and how important those conventions are. Really, it's non-negotiable. I listen to this, if you want to be what your upline is, then you do what they do. And it's just non-negotiable if you want that. And I've discovered that. You find, and I kind of wrote some notes down, you find your belief, you find your strength, you find your love for it. And you also connect with people that you can't connect with otherwise. Someone will say something that will really hit it right. And maybe your mentors say it all the time. And it's the most annoying thing, but if someone else says it, then you believe it and you connect with it. And that happens too. It's third-party validation and just kind of what I like to share with people, and it relates to church people and non-church people. People go to church every week for a reason. They're to renew their passion, renew what their desires are. We go to these conventions together to renew that. You have to have it for strength. So I completely believe in it and conventions, and I love it. And it's just, when you start, you just got to realize it's just part of the business. And maybe that's what you can preempt with your own coaches. It's just, this is our lifestyle, this is our business, this is our continued education. So just sign up right away. So
wow, that's great. Really, you definitely have increased your desire, and that you said you definitely found your love there, for what you do, and that third-party credibility, that validation is so important as well. One thing you said too, and it was said by Smithsons as well, as far as investing in your business, and they invested in you. And, there's different ways of doing that with bringing people to, convention. I look back 14 years ago when I went to my first convention, and there was about, I don't know, I thought there was 100 people there, but later on people were like, no, there's only 50. I thought it was bigger than what it was. But this year there's going to be well over 3,000. I think there'll be closer to 4,000 this year that are going to be going. There's already 1,700, by the way, registered, but you got to get registered so you can get your spot. But I went and I shared a room with some guys, and we actually, I think I paid for 2 rooms for everybody to go with me. And we took a van down, like what you were saying, Jared, about about, driving down. I drove a van down. I couldn't even drive my van because you wouldn't want to be caught dead in that van. I didn't. I was embarrassed. So, it's like you do what you got to do to get there, and you help other people along as well. I've always helped people. In fact, at the end of this call, we'll be talking about another drawing that I'm doing this year, because I always do those every year. And and I'll tell you something about this year's event. I will be putting investing more money into getting people there this year than I have in any of the events, because this is going to be an epic event. There's just no way to look at it, other way to look at it. So, Amber.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. And I wanted to, there's a really special story. I wanted to have Sarah introduce one of her executive directors on her team to just quickly share her story surrounding convention, because I was so inspired by it.
I'm so excited to introduce my friend, my amazing coach partner, Gretchen. She is my story. So like, this is for me, like, it's so awesome to find people like her. And let me just turn it right over to her. Go ahead, Gretchen.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. That's so nice. I'm so honored to be on today. But Sarah and I have been friends for 10 years, and I reached out to Sarah at a low point in my life when I had gained so much weight having my twins. I needed so much weight to lose. So I lost 65 pounds and decided that I finally wanted to pay it forward to people and signed up to be a coach. But I really lacked vision. That's what I lacked. I really lacked knowing what to do and how to share it with people. And my only client for 4 months was my mother-in-law, who I think was just sweet enough to sign up to do it with me. And then Sarah just told me I really needed to come to convention. And I had this like aha moment, like, if I'm going to do this, then I really need to get myself there and see what's going. But I literally decided the day before. I had bought a plane ticket in the back of my head thinking, well, I'll think about it. But the day before I thought, okay, if I'm going to do this, I just better do this. And I had to beg somebody to sleep on their floor so that I had a room to sleep in, because I had given up my spot and I had said I wasn't going to come. But it was the best decision of my life to go, because I went from having one client in July to going to ED in October, because I saw the vision. I saw that this was something that I wanted to be a part of. I got over myself. I got over all my fears of why I didn't want to tell people about it, and started sharing my story, and saw that Dr. Anderson wants America to get healthy. And I wanted to be part of that mission to get America healthy. And it just has changed my life. So it was the best money and decision I have ever made. And I am so grateful for it, and for Sarah. So thanks.
That's awesome, Gretchen. Thank you so much. And, it is, what's interesting is you said you went for 4 months with one client. And then, you went to convention and things started to happen for you, right? And I would, you look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. I love numbers. They don't lie. And people that go to convention, their businesses grow. In fact, if you want to go in the back office and look at events and look at National Convention this year, and it'll go through those numbers with you. I don't have them in front of me, but it's ridiculously a lot more, clients, a lot more coaches, a lot more group volume, compared to those that don't go. Because when you go to convention, what you're doing is you're treating your business like a business, and you're investing in yourself, and you're investing in others if that's what you choose to do too. So you gotta do that. One thing I forgot to mention when Kirtley was saying something about her husband not wanting her to go. My wife actually, she was actually not so on board with this Take Shape for Life thing initially. In fact, I think it was the 5th convention that I finally got her to go. So when people tell me, oh, well, they don't want, who cares? Who cares? Go. It'll change your life and their life eventually. So anyway, Amber, Jared, back to you.
Yeah, I wanted to share one thing, something that Kirtley said. I read a long time ago from an English author, G.K. Chesterton. He said, it's always more important to be reminded than to be instructed. And what she was talking about church, after our first convention, actually it was like our second event, I talked to someone at the event, and they said, I've been coming to these for a few years and it's the same thing every year. Well, I would say now, after 7 years, I would tell that person to be a little bit more mindful and a little bit more aware, because I learn at every single event I go to. I spend my time in workshops. I don't hang out in the halls. I go to everything. I talk to everybody. It's my we work in a business where we don't go to other teams for mentorship, but it's my opportunity to be mentored by these great leaders throughout the whole company that I don't relate to on a daily or weekly basis. And I've learned invaluable things from these people, and created invaluable lifelong friendships with these people also. The one other thing that I'll say is, and several people have said it so far, is it changes your life. It's those moments that Kirtley talked about, that your biggest decisions are made there. You know, most people know our story now, and one of the things that Convention and Go Globals and all the events have done for me is they've given me other people's stories. They've given me other people's experience. I shared it at Go Global this year about the impact that Helen Irwin's personal story about her car crash had on me. That when Amber was diagnosed with a brain tumor, that Helen's words came into my mind: "This will make you or diminish you." You know, we had some really severe financial troubles when we first started the business, as a result of some jerks for business partners. But through the things that I've learned at events, I learned to dig deeper into other people's lives. And I had a conversation with one of those brothers that did those awful things to us last year while I was actually playing golf with him, because we have a relationship again. And going back to your original story about letting it go and forgiving people, you know, he shared something that I had never thought about before. Our business was in a bad spot, and he said, "I never want to be in a position like that again, because when you're in a position of desperation, you do awful things." And you know, those brothers that did those things, we've offered the business to them now. They're people that we still want Take Shape for Life to benefit their lives and bless their lives, because we're completely different people, and we know that they could be completely different people too. They haven't taken us up on that offer yet, but they will, just like Brian's family. They took a while. And now we know everybody sees Drollingers everywhere. So we thank you, Brian, and all those who have paved the way for us, and all of those who taught us to eat the food, talk to people, never give up, and go to every stinking event that exists.
Oh, and have fun.
And have fun.
That's awesome. Well, I've really enjoyed everybody's stories today, and you're so right. The stories is really where it's at. It is, and I love Helen Irwin's story as well, and actually used that with my son when he had one of his good friends commit suicide a few weeks ago. So, you know, I mean, going back to the original movie that I was talking about, and just letting things go. You know, what is it that you're holding on to? You know, I want you to think about this. What is it that you're holding on to? What is it that you're afraid of? You know, if you just let go and start loving other people and start thinking about how you can benefit their lives, you know, your lives will change. You know, and I really do believe that, you know, really sometimes I get pretty emotional about it, because it is so powerful what we have. When people struggle giving, you know, the opportunity to people, I'm like, why don't you want them to have what you have? You know, when they struggle to getting people to convention or to themselves going, why don't you see this predictable transformation that's occurring with people? This is fact. I mean, it's fact. People do change their lives physically, financially, and mentally. You know, let go of things that are bugging you. and start serving other people. Going back to the original story is, this man who just let go, this kid got out of jail early because of it. He had to serve some time, and he's now talking to other kids about the dangers of drinking and driving. How many people is that going to affect because this person was able to let it go? How many people will you influence because you are able to just let go? Just, you don't forget about it, but just let things in your life that are troubling you go and move on. Take care of the things you can take care of. But there's a lot of things you can't take care of and you can never take care of. They're just going to happen. And as we learned at Go Global and as we learn at Convention, we embrace the obstacles as the way. And one thing I want to say to everybody, and that's this. Look at yourself and imagine where you can be in a few years from now. If you just let things go and start serving other people and focusing on how it can benefit them and how to get involved in their life and building relationships. That's the key to this whole thing, is just building relationships and focusing on others. And whenever you focus on others, whenever you give, you receive. It's just the way it is. It always has been and always will be. But you've got to do it. And every day is a new day. So this year, I'm doing another drawing. Get into drawing mode here. And I'll let you know how this is going to work. It's actually going to work the same as last year. So if you were here last year, it's going to work kind of the same. I'm going to do a little bit something different. But every person that registers for a convention gets a ticket into the drawing. You have to be registered. Your business, you have to register yourself, or you and your spouse, whatever, but you have to register yourself. That's one ticket. Every time you bring somebody that's a different leg, a different group, every time you get one for every group, okay, that you bring. One ticket. And we're going to give away 10 registrations to 10 different people. And all you have to do is be registered. But every ticket you get one more. Every person, every leg you bring, every group you bring, you get one more ticket for that. Okay. So you could have somebody, you bring somebody, they bring somebody, they bring somebody, that's one ticket, not three. Okay. But if you have another person, they bring somebody, there's another ticket. Okay. So that's how that works. I'm going to give away 2 tickets to those that have at least 2 registrations are going to be for those that have at least 5 different legs coming or more coming to National Convention. So that would be that. You think, well, that might be more for the leaders. Well, not necessarily. I think I had 5 that I brought down to San Francisco with me in the van. That was a packed van, okay? But that's all I had there at convention. And at my first one. So there'll be 2 tickets for that, or two drawings for that. So that's 12 drawings. So it's like a 5-in-1 kind of thing, right? I was figuring that out this morning because before it was 13. The 13th ticket, though, the 13th drawing we do is going to be for the whole enchilada. So it'll be a reimbursement. It'll be a reimbursement. So you have to be registered, you have to be going, all this, and you'll get a reimbursement check at convention for what that is, okay? So the 13th one is going to be for air, hotel, and registration. Whatever you paid for that. So I'm hoping the person that didn't win, or that wins didn't pay first class, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But if you're feeling lucky, go all the way. So there's going to be 13 drawings. Is that cool? Exciting? And beyond that, I'm doing other things for different teams, and it's going to be amazing. And like I said, this is going to be a transformation itself. So I want you got to be at convention. If you've missed any in the past or whatever, don't miss this one, okay? Unless there's a death or a birth. And by the way, I had 2 kids that were born at 2 different conventions, one before I went and one after I got back, okay? So that's not an excuse either. Unless they're born during the convention, okay? So I'll let that one go. But it's so important to be there for a number of reasons. It's so important to get your teams there. And this is the thing. I talked to the company, and they have about, at the very most, they can put 3,800 in. We've already almost to 1,700. So there's a little over 2,000 that actually still can go, and after that, we're done. You know how what happened to Go Global? We maxed it out. And I figured with the 3,800 plus the people from MetaFast and corporate and all that, we might hit close to 4,000 people. Think about this though. The biggest event we've ever had was 3,000. This will be 4. Now I want you to think going forward, because I'm always looking at the future. Think about this going forward. Think about what's going to happen even the year after. And I'm looking at this as this is a pivotal moment, guys. So you guys make sure that you are, and myself, and I know Amber and other people have signed different, non-disclosure things for what's going to happen here. But man, it drives me nuts. I just can't wait. It is so exciting. So anyway, there are so many great things that are going to happen. So in ending today, thank you so much for those that participated today. And let's go out and make this a great weekend. You know what? Let's go out and make this a great year. Make this your year for change. Change is sometimes uncomfortable, and that's okay. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. The only way you're going to grow is if you're a little bit uncomfortable. And you will learn every time you go. Every time you go to events, you're gonna learn something if you're open to that. So anyway, with that, I'd like to thank everybody again for being on the call, and let's go make it a great weekend, and let's go out there and get America healthy. Okay, guys?